What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. And as you can see by the title, y'all, I'm about to tell you about the worst thing I have did as a child. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't no bad kid at all. I was not a bad kid. I just wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't bad. I can't think of nothing that I've done this serious like what I'm about to say now. And I can honestly say I did not get a lot of whoopings or spankings or none of that as a kid. But this day I did. Okay, y'all. I'm not sure what grade I was in, but I know I was in the middle school, and my friend was in the high school or whatever, and we all stayed in this like little community or whatever. So my house was over here, her house was across the street, and I'm not even sure what just made me went through with it, but I did anyway. So I didn't go to school that day. That's basically what I did. I skipped school. That's one thing. Skip school. So she was trying to get somewhere or whatever, and I'm just hanging out with it, whatever. She my friend. We hung out in the neighborhood, whatever. So I'm just going with her. She was like, we'll be back or whatever and all that stuff like that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I was kind of young. And now that I'm just like talking about the situation, you could tell I was young. Like I know I was just getting into middle school and stuff like that. So I'm fresh, probably. I'm fresh in middle school. So yeah, man. She didn't have no ride for us to get to where we were trying to go or where she was trying to go. So we hitchhike. That's number 2. We hitchhike. Mind you, I ain't know nothing about all that or nothing like that. But I'm like, me and her, shit, we together. We gon', you know what I'm saying? Woo woo. Man, long story short, I did get my tail whooped. Like, we got to where we was going and everything. I think it was an old white man, if I can remember. No race thing or nothing like that, but I'm just saying it was an older Caucasian male, whatever, and he dropped us out where we was supposed to go and stuff like that. I'm talking about on the other side, like I think we were going to Goshen, on the other side of Goshen. Our housing complex or little community was in Ocean Springs or whatever. So, man, he dropped us off, whatever. We just chilling, we hanging out, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Doing what people do or whatever they do when they skip school. Okay. I'm trying to see how in the world. I can't remember how I got back home. No, I think our friends, the house that we went to, they mom was cool with them doing whatever and stuff like that. And they mom had a truck. And they shot us to get something to eat and took us back home to the crib. And yeah, so we kind of stayed that long. We stayed for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I know y'all wondering, well, why didn't the mom come and pick y'all up? Well, the mom was probably at work or gone. Like, we skipped like early in the morning. Like, it was time to woo. Like, once folks was gone or whatever, it was just like that. But y'all, that was like, I think the worst thing I did as a child. Like, I wasn't no bad kid. And best believe, when my dad whooped me. My dad don't never whoop me, y'all. He don't barely raise his voice at me or none of that. That man got that belt. And men belts thick as hell, fool. Men belts thick, bro. The man got that belt, wore my ass out. I'm talking about wore my ass out so bad, y'all. Wore my ass out. And I can laugh about it now. This shit was not funny. But after he wore my ass out, y'all, he sat me down and told me why he just went to the extreme like that, because he was asking me questions like how y'all get there and all that and stuff. And I told him, and she got mad worse there. I believe he hit me again, But he was like, man, this is serious. Y'all hitchhike. This man could have went off with y'all. He really could have like just kidnapped y'all. Y'all could have been gone, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was serious. Like, now that I'm old and grown and stuff like that, I know how serious that was. And I felt like that was a valid ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? That was a valid ass whooping. That was a valid ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? I bet you I ain't do nothing else like that no more. And I don't think I really ever really just got another whooping after that. That probably was my only whooping in my life, but I felt like it was valid. You know what I'm saying? I learned my lesson. You know what I'm saying? So, and y'all, that's the story. But how they even found out I wasn't even at school, one of my teachers called my folks somehow or whatever way. Just this one teacher, this one class, she called my folks. And that's how that's how I even got caught. If you're wondering how I got caught, that's how I got caught. Because I think we was back before before her folks, my folks even got home or none like that. But that's how my folks found out. You know what I'm saying? I think the teacher called them and told them and was saying, well, she's not in class or whatever the case may be. And it was up from there, y'all. It was up from there. And I just was like, damn. Like, and then it was something with this teacher. I don't even know. I always had a feeling with this teacher. That's not the reason why I skipped or nothing like that. But it's just something with that teacher. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, now that I think about it, I just still feel like it was something with that teacher. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna say she got on my nerves or nothing like that, but she wasn't my favorite teacher. It was just something about her. And I was a kid, so I don't know. But I just knew something wasn't right about her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she called my folks and told. And I'm not saying that something's wrong with her because she called my folks and told on me. No, it was just every day I would go to her class. It was just she just always felt weird, awkward, off, all that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But yeah, she called my folks and told on me and shit like that, man. Then after the situation, she wanna act like this, act like that. Man, I ain't have 2 cents for that motherfucking lady. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have 2 cents for her. And it's not because she told, like I said, it just still was something about her. It still was something about her. But in the end, y'all, I learned a lesson that, that needed to be learned. My daddy whooped my ass, though. For real. Like, yes, that's probably like the worst thing I've done as a child, Other than, daredevil stuff I did with my uncle. But that wasn't nothing to like, to the point where I could have been kidnapped, all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? We was 2 little girls. Oh, we could have been done. And then I really realized the severity of it now. Because none of my family stayed there. No, our family stayed hours away. So it was just like, can't be doing nothing like that. We got down here. Of course, my mom and dad, they had friends and stuff like that. But it wasn't like how when we was in Macon or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Well, oh, you such and such, something like that. So, yes, y'all saying hitchhiking, I think that what really did it. There was something over the edge. But shit, I was a kid just doing shit, and we don't be knowing the severity of things until it's like explained to us or told to us or whatever. But yeah, y'all, that probably was my first and last ass whooping. Valid ass whooping. Like, that was a very valid ass whooping. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.